Look at Wanda, ready to rock her big presentation. But first, lunch. Sweet Pepper's Deli. Delicious, celebratory, but is it quick? The Cobb salad. Tender oven-roasted chicken, topped with cheese. Prepared, plated, and served in 6 minutes? Is this for real? Well, of course. Well done, Wanda. Sweet Pepper's Deli. Yes, ma'am. Life is sweet.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather This Morning.
Well, welcome to Mississippi Live Weather This Morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon. Thank you so much for joining us here on this Monday, a chilly day, and we expect, obviously, you need to really be bundling yourself up, those kiddos as well this morning as they head out the door for school. And as we start this week, it is cooler weather that remains the story, not just for now, but for the next few days as we bring some folks in here. We appreciate y'all for joining us, but you'll definitely need to bundle up the first part of the day. We're 28 degrees, that temperature at 7 a.m. We're 39 at 10 a.m., going 48 by noon, 48 by this afternoon at about 4 p.m. I think in between there, we probably reach a high temperature around the 50 degree point. That still puts us a few below what we typically expect for this time of the year. No precipitation, no severe weather, nothing like that. Even if you're wanting other types of precipitation, looking like most this week, it's only just going to be the liquid variety sort of stuff. And good morning to folks out there. Markella is saying hi to us on YouTube. You can join the conversation, Facebook, YouTube as well. And we'd love to, of course, talk with you this morning about what you're interested in and how things are going. Out there in Macon, definitely looks like we have some frost there on the ground. Also looks like that camera might have taken a break for the moment. There we go, catching up. Yeah, a little bit of frost out there, probably a little bit on your windshield as well this morning. 28 degrees right now. Now, dew point that measure moisture at 22, but maybe the feels like temperature. Wind chill, more important, feels like 23 degrees at this time. It is a chilly morning, that is for sure. Outside in Greenville, we're coming in 30, a little bit more mild at that location there back in the Delta, and that feels like wind chill temperature right at 30 as there's no wind at that location at this time. And then outside in Saltillo, checking out our various Mississippi Department of Transportation cameras there. 27 the temperature, feels like 27 again because those winds are calm, and a little bit of a glow there at the horizon as you can kind of see maybe right there at the very top, a little bit of that cloud cover. There's not much out there, but some high and thin clouds kind of part of the story today. Good morning, Becca. Hopefully you're doing all right as well with us. Checking the temperatures at this time, in the mid-20s, about 27 as we mentioned there in Greenwood, 29 degrees Cleveland. It's 28 Starkville. And cool spots we show Bruce, Houston, 24, Oxford, 23, and I guess the winter, 22 there in Holly Springs. Senatobia, that's where, of course, our meteorologist Maggie McCauley usually is. She's been up in New York City. Man, loving her pictures. If you haven't checked her out, they're definitely a lot of fun on Instagram. It's kind of a cool trip for her and excited for her. She should be back here. I'll check my calendar. Give me a second. I think it's tomorrow. I'll check that for you in a minute. I got to remember which days. Let's see here. We should be able to tell because it should be in my thing. I think she's back tomorrow. Yeah. Get looking at that. It might actually be Wednesday. Either way, wind chills by then will be more manageable. We're 21 for what it feels like right now in Louisville and Tupelo as well as Holly Springs. Those three spots are our coldest at this moment, where there's just a little bit more of a breeze showing up this morning. So our surface map on Mama Justice Doppler radar, no precipitation, just some high and thin clouds. And on the much, much wider shot here, you can see the closest of anything back out there in the Texas. Now this is associated with a little disturbance that will bring us slightly more active weather by the middle part of this week. Let's go water vapor wide. That'll kind of show you the storm system back out there toward the Baja of California, pretty much right there. And so this is going to kind of pick up and try to bring a little more moisture our direction. It's not fast moving, but that's where at least part of our rain chances will come in. Because if you look farther to the north and west, we don't have really a great front to showcase. We'll call this more of a trough once it gets here, but it'll have a drop in temperatures with it eventually. We still have a few more days before that's the case. And as I kick this over, kind of maybe the more usual way to look at the satellite and radar, you can see how kind of wispy everything is with these clouds back there toward Louisiana and Texas. That's how we can kind of tell that they're high and thin clouds, what we call cirrus clouds in place. So the H is the story, keeping us dry and clear. And again, all the clouds, it looks like a ton of cloud cover. This is all really thin stuff, so it doesn't really have a huge impact on keeping us cooler. It just kind of filters the sunlight a little bit more. Good morning, Bubba. Hopefully you're doing all right. Cold this morning, his description. That's probably a pretty good way to do that. By the way, you can join our chat conversation there. You can see that next to me here. We'd love to, of course, be talking with you about everything going on where you're at there. Hopefully you're doing all right this morning. But yeah, join the conversation. And again, we appreciate all the folks, as you can see there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, that do sponsor us here on Mississippi Live Weather, like True Shield Roofing, Tupelo Smiles, many, many others there as well. So we kind of bring it back to the normal mode here on Mississippi Live Weather. We'll talk a little bit more about those comments here in just a minute. But you'll note that we just had those high and thin clouds and no rainfall coming from that. So that means we're at least dry despite being fairly cool as we progress throughout your Monday. So over the next 24 hours, really we're looking about 35, as you can see, 9 a.m., 46 by noon, 50 by around 3 p.m. That's our peak temperature today. 44 at 6, 36 by 9. And then probably 20s again for early tomorrow morning. Not quite as cool as we were for this morning, but still cool enough. There will be a wind chill out there, but no precipitation on your Tuesday. Now, some of those chances for moisture do return as we look toward Wednesday in particular. That's what we're looking at come up here in 60 seconds from the Room to Room Weather Center. That return to some rainfall chances, what that does with some temperatures in the extended forecast. And again, checking in with Tracy, who's checking in with that chilly emoji this morning. I'm sure you are as well. Bundle up. We're getting that school day forecast on Mississippi Live Weather coming up here in 60 seconds. We'll see you then.
Out with the old and in with the new. It's time to save big at Room to Room's New Year's sale. Store-wide markdowns 50 to 70% off. No tax. 48-month special financing. It's a new year at Room to Room Furniture in Tupelo. There's no place like home.
As a bankruptcy firm, Mitchell, Cunningham & Bowling realizes many people are worried about their finances. We're here to guide you through the next steps to restart your life with easy video appointments. New clients don't have to leave home to get information about becoming debt-free. Also, convenient in-office appointments are available at the low cost of $340 upfront for a Chapter 13. You can be on your way to being debt-free. Contact Mitchell, Cunningham & Bowling today or visit our website at mcdebtfree.com. We are here to help you.
People tell me how lucky my daughter is to have been adopted. But really, we're the lucky ones. Learn more at adoptuskids.org.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's Mississippi's Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lobhon.
Some beautiful camera shots coming in this morning. I had to start with Oxford. You know I just love it when we get all the different colors. Looking back there toward the east. Whoo, it's chilly. 23 degrees, current temperature there. Feels like it's 23 at this instant. Looking back again toward the east and the beautiful glow we have in the sky this morning. Pontotoc, a different direction, but still, you get another shot of those high and thin clouds. They're going to look like they're all over the place on Futurecast in a minute, and they are. They're just thin, and that's one of the weaknesses when we look at forecast projections is they never do a perfect job of kind of showing. They're like, it's cloudy. Well, it is technically, but today's clouds, no rain or anything like that coming in from there. And again, join the conversation this morning here in the Room to Room Weather Center. Appreciate everyone from getting online with us, like Jamie there in Solent, Dylan. We know Dylan. Hey, we love you too, Dylan there. Appreciate y'all for supporting us. And good talking to you. It's been a hot second, that's for sure. Watching from Corinth, Arnita, nice to see you. Glendale, great to talk with you as well here this morning here in the Room to Room Weather Center. And we'll check out one more camera shot. Let's go down to Ackerman. Ackerman, one of our newest cameras, one that I really think does a great job here. And again, showing up with that temperature, all locations, no matter how hard we try to get it milder, is 28 right now in the Ackerman area, so not particularly mild at all. Mississippi Live Weather Radar showing up clear. Now, I want to point out something here. It has some snowfall on it. That's not snowfall. Let's be crystal clear. This time of day, when the atmosphere stabilizes, it directs the beam from the radar into the ground, and then it receives. When it looks back because of the atmospheric structure, the radar gets what are called false returns sometimes. Clear air mode is what we typically refer to it as. Yeah, but in that mode, it will say there's precipitation where there's not precipitation. That's just what it does because of the way the atmosphere is structured. So codes into snowfall. There have been some rumors of snowfall out there. I'll tell you right now, right out the gate, without even showing you anything. We might talk about this a little later. There's nothing like that in the extended forecast, unfortunately. If you're hoping for something like that at this point, we don't have anything of significance out there at this time. But, you know, I guess sort of addressing social media rumors on that. Hey, pickup temperature for this morning, obviously cold. We're 28 degrees right now, with those temperatures, as the kids, head out the door. Low 50s by this afternoon, all we managed. So they're going to need a jacket even later on today. Maybe not as heavy a jacket with the wind that we had yesterday, but certainly probably want one. No airport delays across the United States at this point in time. Only snow we have back up there to the northeast in that lake effect snow zone where they typically have that. And all across the region, we are in the green. No issues out there as far as travel is concerned. So let's go ahead and kind of look at things here as we progress throughout today. First and foremost, Futurecast again keeping us dry. Again, this is what I was talking about a minute ago. See how it looks like it's cloudy? What's high, thin clouds? And nowhere near the surface. So yes, it is cloudy, but we're not talking about anything that'll bring us any kind of precipitation. High pressure is the story, not just here across the entire region, in general keeping us with sinking air. That keeps precipitation away. This is largely still part of the last system that brought us back to weather on Friday. That's the leading edge of one of these air masses, areas of high pressure, that's just kind of shoved all that moisture down to the Gulf of Mexico. So we are dry, we are clear, and no interruptions to that. So 50, and that temperature for a high in Holly Springs, Senatobius, and in South Haven and Clarksdale, pretty much a lot of locations out there at around 50 degrees for our high. Our normal this time of year is 53, so the only places closer to that, Bruce, Houston, Eupora, all coming in close to the low 50s out there. More mid to upper 50s on the way for tomorrow, and then another bit of a drop in temperature beyond that. So for tonight, high, thin clouds, they do not provide any kind of real meaningful insulation, and so that definitely helps those temperatures to drop off pretty effectively. And you will notice as we clear things out just a little bit, watch this little bit of cloud cover. It shows right there, Columbus back toward Amory there. That's one way in which our Futurecast model, the HRRR in particular, shows fog. So some patches of fog out there for early Tuesday morning, maybe a few more than what this indicates here. We'll of course have updates on any issues with that then, starting at 6:30 a.m. So we're at 30 in Grenada at Water Valley, 32 degrees in Oxford for your low temperatures on your early Tuesday morning. Upper 20s though for Bruce, for Houston, for Tupelo area, and that's a little below the 33 we'd expect for this time of year. And while cooler than last week, obviously we're nowhere near record levels, with wind chill temperatures somewhere in the neighborhood of the upper 20s and lower 30s to begin the first part of your early Tuesday morning. So again, that fog, if we have any, not going to be particularly long lasting. You can see 8, 9, 10 o'clock, that kind of burns off pretty quickly. Wide shot here, again showing kind of some of the players in the forecast. I'm showing this as a trough here. I'll be honest, this is going to be more of a cold front that kind of moves in from the north and west, kind of misplaced here on our projection. It's kind of leading edge of some colder air that sort of oozes in. Really, honestly, more than anything, it's part of this system you have way up north here, because this is a huge dip in the jet stream. Watch this wide shot for a moment here. As you can see, it's kind of everything swirling around this cold core low up there. And so what then tends to happen in that situation is we tend to pull off little pieces of that. In the past, some meteorologists have called the polar vortex. I mean, ultimately, it's just the jet stream, the way it wraps around the country, it taps into some of that colder air there. So this is just going to kind of direct more, just like a piece of that colder air down closer to us by the middle part of this week, and keep those temperatures dropping by then. But as you can see, for us down here in Mississippi, there's no precipitation out there to speak of or any of significance. So because we're still ahead of that, we warm up a little bit more for Tuesday. We're 60 Water Valley, 59 degrees in Oxford, Houston, 60 degrees in Bruce and Eupora. Again, that is above that normal. That should be about 53, going 59 there in Belzona. So 7-day forecast has us 59 for Tuesday, 54 as we go toward Wednesday, and that's again with that trough. We're going to have a few more showers kind of rotate into the area. Not a ton of precipitation with that, but we do show at least a decent chunk. I might be a little low at that 20%. If we're honest, I probably need to take that up to 30. While I'm doing that, I'm going to pop up your chat so we can talk here for just a moment on this. But give me a second behind the scenes here. I'll make sure I correct that for our next broadcast. I want that up at about 30% coverage. And then that will update here in a moment. Click save on that. So let me click off this, and then this is just kind of how quickly we can fix things here. We want to tweak the forecast. This is how we do it. That should, it'll be next time it updates. That's fine. Okay, let's kind of see how everyone's doing this morning there. Appreciate y'all. Arnita there in Corinth. Good morning to everybody up there in Memphis. Nice to see y'all. Memphis News First on YouTube there. Good morning, Rodney and Myrtle and Greenwood. Nice to see some folks out there in the Delta, and Alicia, Gumby, and Michael. Hopefully you all are having a great morning here. And appreciate, again, all of our sponsors here on Mississippi Live Weather. You see their commercials often during these broadcasts and before and after, but all those folks there supporting us. And we couldn't do it without their support, and we couldn't do it without your support as well. And so if you would like to support us, one of the many, many ways in which you can do that is by downloading the Mississippi Live Weather app. It is free and available for all of the various devices there. The easiest way is probably using the QR codes you see below me here. You can scan those for iOS, for Android, and for all of our folks there on Facebook. Nice to see all of you this morning on the various forms of social media. Our next live broadcast we'll have coming up here in, what time? We got about 15 minutes here at 7 a.m. At 7 a.m. I'm going to go a little farther out because I'll be perfectly honest, I look at the forecast as a process, and we kind of add things to it as we go throughout the morning. Good to see y'all there. And in Boonville, I see Water Valley chiming in as well. Nice to see you, Calvin and Bobby and Pam and Roy and Lisa, all for Karen there, hopping on with us in Boonville. We'll see you at 7 a.m. here in the Room to Room Weather Center, and we'll be looking a little bit more at some of the rain chances by the middle part of the week. I might even pull out a long-range model. We'll see how that ends up going. I might pull out a long-range model where we look at, let's just say snowfall the rest of the week. The American, what we call GFS model. Rather unimpressed by what it's looking at, but I know that this is that time of year where folks want any kind of hope for that because it's cold. You might as well get something. We'll look at that coming up here at 7 o'clock on Mississippi Live Weather. Hope to see you then, and thank you so much. And again, as we pop that chat up for one last time here, we just appreciate everyone, Water Valley and Carmilla there in Boonville, for hopping on with us, joining the conversation, and we'll see you come up here in a few minutes. Hopefully it's a fantastic day for you. We love you all, and thank you again for supporting us. Make sure to support those folks, as you can see there in the corner there and on our broadcast here, that support us here at Mississippi Live Weather. It's the way in which we can continue to do this without you telling them, hey, this is worthwhile. There's a zillion different places to put their advertising dollars, and that's how we keep it free, is by you telling them, hey, we appreciate you supporting Mississippi Live Weather. So, of course, reach out to do that. We will see you coming up here in about 12 minutes. Got to get some things recorded for the channel. We'll see you then.
What I thought was a complete life was nowhere near complete, but it is now.
Learn about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org.
Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.